Good. Hope everybody's living good. I know my life has got significantly better, and I always work towards that goal. And I hope everybody else is doing the same, because otherwise, I don't know why you alive. Something to think about. As you guys know, I've been working on my website for a while. And when I first started, it was kind of like pissing in the wind. I didn't really have a concept or design strategy. Nothing really. I just had this thing that worked, and I was like, yeah, let me try that. But now it's evolved into something crazy, um, and we're gonna exploit that because it's all IP. So we're gonna take that IP and we're gonna exploit that IP. And by we, I mean me, me and my homies. So, oh shit. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. Um, I remember, God damn it, I remember being a kid and thinking to myself, how do you contribute? Like seriously, think about this. There's people that have developed original ideas, and it's been to some extent for the betterment of people, one way or the other. It's an original concept. It's not some fugazi fluke stuff, and I never thought I would be one of those people because I always thought it was something crazy that you could, not every person can do. But here I am. I've done it, so it's cool. And everybody can do it if they want to, because I'm nobody special. I just decide where I spend my time, and it ain't fucking around on bullshit. So that's all. That's the only difference. But at any rate, I'm probably, let's see, probably like 90% of the way done planning the build. And at first, it's not even going to be the website. It's just going to be something that I'm using for myself. And then the website comes once I can validate that it works and that I designed it properly and all that. It's going to be way cooler than what I originally thought I was going to do. And if the math works how I think it will, it's going to revolutionize how people look at markets, because I've essentially developed a new form of math. Because it takes it takes one thing and converts it into another thing to be able to use it into another thing. That's really the layman's way to put it. And that's just how things come into existence when they didn't exist before. And if I'm if I'm lucky, multiple fields can benefit from my work. And I can solidify myself as a polymath officially. I've always thought of myself as one, and this, if I can pull this off, this will definitely be proof positive. Nobody can say shit. So, because I already did the research, nobody's thought of this. There's no patents on this. There's no nothing. Nobody's thought of this. Some for whatever reason, I don't know why, but to me it was obvious. But that's how one of those things goes. When it's not obvious to everybody else, it's yours, and that's where we're at. So it's about to get serious. Um, this is the retirement move right here, pretty much, because this shit gonna hit. It's I just my instincts with this math is just too crazy. So I'm pretty sure this shit's gonna hit. I got some work to do, and once that work is done, it'll be solidified that it's true, and that'll be that. I'll own that, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun next few years for me. While the world burns, I'm just floating to the top. It happens. It happens. Um, so what's been happening lately? Well, like I told you guys, what happened as far as crypto is concerned. There is no crypto market anymore. Not in the way that we used to know it in 2020, 2022, 2017. That no longer exists. What you have now is an amalgamation of bootleg exchanges pretending to not be data farms on you. That's what you have now. So you need to understand what you're doing out here in 2025. I've been talking to you guys a long time about this stuff, and it's happening. And I've talked about this, 2, 3 years ago, and here we are. It's happening in your face. You're not getting no altcoin season. Bitcoin ain't doing what they said it was gonna do. You'd be lucky if you see that shit hitting 150K when it's supposed to be at 250 already. So everything is already off track, and people are just pretending like it's not. This is very important because this is why I moved on, and everybody's still here waiting for something that's never gonna come. And you just keep piling your money in and piling your money in and piling your money in. But what you're not understanding is that the money is not going to where you want it to go. Because it's not going to no fake coins. I'm sorry. It's not. It's going to where they can manipulate it. Before, they had to share the wealth, they had to get people involved, they had to play the mind game. I've explained this before. This is why I've never changed my logo because it's real talk. I don't ever lie. You might not like me, but that's your own problem because I don't ever lie. I'm 100% facts. How those airdrops been lately? Anybody in the chat got an answer on that one? Because I'm pretty sure them shits done dried the fuck up. Somebody to confirm or tell me I'm wrong because I really don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's really none anymore. And then when there is, all you're getting it from is from a damn ETH copy. Like what? That's not what it was before. You used to get money out left and right just cause. Not the case anymore. So that's how you know we've reached a point where it's officially Vegas season now. And I sit here and I watch my I guess fucking financial cousins, because these motherfuckers definitely in my blood. These people that work on Wall Street. It's so hard for me to respect these people because they think they're smart, but they don't even do the math. And that shit really irks me because people are still out here, pretending that they have a clue because 21 million. Like, what the fuck are you even saying, bro? How you in finance? You don't understand what the fuck is going on. 21 million. Dumb motherfuckers talking about 21 million. Everybody and their mama out here buying Bitcoin every day. And you're going to sit here and tell me there isn't $21 trillion out there that can buy up all that Bitcoin? Yes, there is. So why is that Bitcoin still floating around? How is it that over the past year or two, there's still Bitcoin flowing around? Because these people manage trillions of capital. Trillions. So they can afford to buy it all. What is exactly going on? These are things you guys got to think about as you move forward through life. Because, most people aren't just buying Hex, Pulse Chain, etc. They're not buying the right coins. Because here's the thing. You're waiting for altcoin season, but there is not going to be one. What's going to happen is, and I don't know if you guys, maybe this is a good time to share a chart. To share audio, share tab or screen instead. Okay. Motherfucker. Bam. All right, here we go. So what am I saying? Because I'm talking a lot. Let's get rid of some of this shite. Yeah, let's leave that. I'll get rid of that. Put it here. Okay. So right now, I just feel like it's too much on the chart. This isn't right now. There's an indicator that you're staring at. It's mine. It's proprietary. It's not scaled to read um, gold. So I'm just gonna get rid of all that. I mean, this is all right, but it's not really helping us for our purposes. However, um, long story short, trend is up. Right. This is all that this is saying. Because if you look at the time frame column, you're starting at the largest time frame at the top, working all the way down to the smallest. Right. So overall time frame, the big time frame is saying we're going higher. And fact remains, we've been going higher literally since 2015. Gold has been going straight up since it hit $1,100 in 2015. And if you wasn't around, you're not gonna know. And a lot of people that might watch this stream not gonna have a clue. Did I say 2011? I meant 2015, but not too far off because it has gone straight up since 2011. It just had a pullback in the 2015, the summer 2015, which was a day. I promise you, I could look up this article right now. WSJ Gold Pet Rock article. It was in December. It was literally the day of the bottom of gold. Literally the day. Or maybe it was July. It was something. It was July. It was literally right before then. So July 17th, 2015. Let's look at what it gave. How you gonna turn it down? All right. 2015, July 17th. That was a Friday, I guess. Because this is 8 days per candle. So the 20th was the Monday. So if you do the math, minus 3, that's Friday. That's a Friday. 3 days. And they only squeezed out. Let's see, 1079 was a low. They only got to 1046. So that article, not only was it not good for a trade, it wasn't even good to get stopped out. Because if you're doing a long-term trade, you know, 30 points in gold is not a lot when it could do that move in a day easily against you. So you gotta understand your risk parameters, right? And you're not gonna put yourself in a position where you're buying gold at 1200 or whatever to see it go against you on 100 points. Like that sucks, right? 30 points, 50 points, okay. 100 points, ah, that's gonna hurt because it's $10 per tick. So every time it goes up 10 ticks, that's $100. So if that thing goes up 100 ticks, that's $1,000. Hold on, guys. Anyways, you can lose a lot of money. That's the point. So you got to understand what side of the market you need to be on. And as of right now, this is saying that inflation is not going anywhere. That's what this is saying. And not only is it saying it's not going anywhere, it's saying it's getting crazy because even gold is fucking, or gold, even silver is getting buck wild with it now. This is what's happening here. Silver has been trading in this $30 to $15 range, probably. Yeah, I don't know. 10 years. Just in this range for 10 years. It's just been a slow moving bottom because it's just a pullback for the real move. That's all that's happening right now because at the end of the day, And I've explained this shit to you guys before. Um, everybody can't access crypto. Everybody can't understand crypto. Everybody will not understand crypto because I really feel like that window is passed already. Because even the people that are in crypto don't know shit about it. So how the fuck can people coming into it now be educated properly? That's literally impossible. So all you're gonna see moving forward is just fake markets. And what I mean by fake markets is exactly what Bitcoin and Ethereum are now. They're just mass copies everywhere of the same shit, and they give it different names, and people accept it. That's it. That's all avalanches and optimum and all that other shit. It's just Ethereum with different names. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't. They even use the same fucking hash functionality. So, whatever. Um, that's the current state of the crypto market, and I'm not even paying attention. And that should be sad. That if you guys are out here following all these other fool rules, they can even, I'm not even paying attention, and I told you 2 years ago this was gonna happen, and it's happening. And just like there's no altcoin season, what they're doing is they're erecting, no homo, their real crypto market, which I told you guys about years ago also. That I know nobody in the full rule space is talking about because nobody knows anything. And the sooner you guys realize that, I don't know, maybe the sooner your life will improve. I don't really know. Because I can't for the life of me understand why people are hell bent on watching people that don't know shit. Like, do you not confirm what you're being told? I don't know. I don't understand it. I really don't. And excuse that background noise. I'm just grinding some green here. But yeah, I personally do not understand this allure of YouTube as entertainment. YouTube is instructionary for me, instructional. I'm gonna use it for information, and that's it. Nothing else. I really don't care to use it for anything else. So, I don't know if it's just a simple matter of fact of how I use it, or I don't know. Maybe I'm not human. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But point is, you know, there's all these ways to learn stuff. You should probably take advantage of it. There is no reason why people are just trying to put money in a fucking coin, hoping it's going to do something without understanding the implications and ramifications of their actions. I literally sat here for weeks when I first started streaming with the hopes of educating people properly. The fucking reply, and I should have fucking knew better right then and there, was, why don't you make them videos 20 minutes, bro? They're kind of long. That was literally the reply. From the most educated motherfucker to the least educated motherfucker. I think about that shit every goddamn day. It bothers me so much. Like, yo, do you think I became whales with 20-minute videos, my nigga? Like, what the fuck? Woo! Shit's funny. Because people are very serious when they make that fucking comment. Or they were very serious when they were making that fucking comment. And little did they understand that I took that shit disrespect. Like, it's like they were disrespecting me. Because clearly they weren't watching the full content, which means they weren't grasping the concepts that I was laying down. Because if it was that simple that a caveman can do it, then why the fuck do I need to do all this shit to, all these sequential videos and shit to be like, this is why crypto. So, in short, there is no saving anybody that doesn't want to be saved. It's that simple. It's too late in the game for newcomers to come in because everything out there is a lie. Literally everything. There is no crypto space anymore. It's just a fake digital wannabe stock market. That's all. And then people in the stock market don't know that they don't even own the stocks that they own. So you guys got to understand that the people you're seeing on TV thinking that they're all educated and prognosticating shit, like these motherfuckers are not educated. They're just mouthpieces. Somebody's telling them what to say. They don't have an original thought. That's why they're saying things years later after I said it. Not saying it years before when I said it years ago. And that's something you got to grasp because you're the one that's going to suffer the consequence, not the YouTuber. You're just giving them views and getting them paid. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't even know you exist. And that applies to every viewer. I mean, it's like I said before, right now I got 27 viewers. I can't go outside and stop 27 people to listen to me. I can't. I will never be able to do that outside unless I go on TV and I'm given a fucking platform, which means I'm on some homo shit by default. So that's never gonna happen. And I told y'all this shit a long time ago. Like, you don't trust motherfuckers on TV. Boy, was I proven right. Hell, the first thing I did was tell you dumb motherfuckers that. And I don't mean the people watching this stream, just the internet in general. Because what was the first thing that happened when I came on the scene? Motherfuckers wanted to know why I wasn't willing to show my face. That was the first thing people wanted to know. How's that worked out for you? How those faces been working out for you? They got you paid yet? Y'all millionaires already from seeing faces or what? How's that? How does that work? Did I miss something in the instructional video? Like, help me out. I'm stupid. I need to understand what I'm doing wrong. So somebody educate me on why face is so preferable to no face when literally motherfuckers go on TV and lie to you every day. You know what their name is, you know where they live, you know all this shit. They lie to you. You don't do a fucking thing about it. They make your life a living hell. They go out of their way to do it. And they get away with it. And yet you're worried about some random dude on the internet trying to give you some life-changing information. Is this motherfucker legit? Yo, what's the funniest shit I had ever experienced in my life? Like, y'all motherfuckers that dumb? The answer is yes. The 5 years later, it's pretty evident that the answer is yes. And then the sad thing about it is that it's really just everybody. There is no group, fuck the Pareto distribution rule. That shit wrong. It's like 99% motherfuckers just dumb because they don't want to think. They just want to get money and that's it, All the in-betweens be damned. And that's cool. Hope it works out for you. Not my flow though. Not my flow. Cause what we doing with that? We're not doing shit with that. All you're doing is creating headaches. Straight up. That's why motherfuckers is sitting at home on a Sunday wondering where the altcoin season at, bro. Like, come on, man. I did my part. I really tried to help people, so all I can do now is make fun of people. All right. Let's look at what we got here. The actual crypto market. So let's see. As of yesterday, we're at 29.3 billion. 29.3 billion in this. What do they call this? I forget what RWA stands for. Hold on. Real world assets, I think is what it stands for. I don't think I could scroll below yet. Nope. Hold on. Come on. I just want to see what RWA stands for because I can't remember. Real world asset. Yep. Oh man, they are fucking setting y'all up so good. It's crazy. And I say y'all because no matter what happens, I'm not gonna be succumb to shit because I understand what the fuck is going on. So I know how to position myself to not be scathed by this shit. All I try to do is educate people in that same fashion, and all people have done is essentially spit in my face. And of course, not you guys that are viewing, but in general, that's the reply because everybody wants to hear it from the mouthpieces. They don't want to hear it from some random dude. They don't want to hear shit they don't want to hear from some random dude. Basically, is what it boils down to. My mommy said you lying, so fuck you. That's that's the Oh my God. That's really the frame of mind of people. And hey, that's cool, man. Don't mean shit to me. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm doing. So it's all good. Uh let's see what we got here. When you look at where we were, 914 minus 3, 314. 6 months ago, where were we? $11 billion less than where we are now. $10 billion less than where we are now. So in 6 months, this market that essentially has no monetary value, these people are not cashing any of this out. They're just parking money there to the tune of billions. What does that tell you, the viewer? What does that tell you? And let's see what happened February through. I gotta look into this little space of time. February through early March. I can't remember what the hell happened. Let's see. February through early March. Do we got any indication on this chart? No, nothing here. Dollar. Early March. Dollar dumpage. Okay, that's one interesting epithet to notes. Um. Oh shit! All right, I need to do some analysis on this data here. Okay, so let me show you guys some. Oh man, yeah. I really was worried that was going to be a thing, but yep, it's definitely going to be a thing. So I'm sure you guys might have or might have not heard. Uh, I've told you this before, but I was really hoping it wasn't going to be the case. But long story short, I asked myself, what's this little blip right here? That's not even including stable coins. Whoops. So we're at 310 billion. Versus 6 months ago, we were at 250 billion or so. So in 6 months, it's gone up 60 billion. Really on the back of stable coins, because stable coins is 50 billion of that. Because remember, besides stable coins, it only went up 10, 11 billion. So they're playing games. And this is why I stated when I saw the dollar dump, like, oh, that's notable because it's about the digital dollar more than anything else. Everything else is a representation of the digital dollar, is it not? Even your altcoins are a representation of that digital dollar. Your goal is to extract dollars from that alt season coin market, altcoin market, excuse me. That's your goal. So you need to understand that because when dollars move, like they did in early March. Hold on, where are here we no. Yeah, like they did in late February, early March. Uh, maybe not. Hold on. Oh, interesting. End of year, big move. Big move. I gotta do some work here. All right, this is more work for me to do. I gotta find a way to get my hands on this data and do some analysis because they definitely playing games. I mean, look at this shit. This is straight shit. You guys gotta understand that. Um, this is this list that we're staring at. This is a list of all assets. Not including stable coins. If we include stable coins, that changes. And look at who's number 1 and 2, and then 3. But look at the values. Got 171 billion Tether, 71 billion Circle, right? And as you guys probably know by now, Circle's a public entity. Let's see. I even put them on my list. I think I did. Oop, did not. All right. It ran from IPO. It ran, we talked about it at some point clearly because I got some markings here on the chart. Um, it ran from its open at 69 all the way to 298, $299, a cent shy. So that thing ran. And, usually when you get these kinds of multiple gaps, I don't know why that just happened. Multiple gaps like that, eventually there's going to be some type of exhaustion move. Typically happens in the form of a double top because it has to try to recover that level. And that's what you're seeing there. But, this is a stock that I would legit buy. Like, if you're trying to make money, this is probably a good stock to own because it's like owning value in the government. And the value in the government is always going to go one way because everybody's too dumb for it to go any other way. And that's just how it goes, unfortunately. I wish it was different, but it's not. It's just the truth. Everybody sits on their phones on social media thinking that change is going to happen through a computer or a phone. And sad reality is that it's not. You need to use that social media to inform yourself about what you can do. How can you progress in life? Who can you learn from? Who's willing to share information? Who's not? Why is that? Why is this person willing to share information? What's the difference between these two people? You got to ask yourself questions to just have the right answer to whatever it is. Um, it's kind of like when you're dealing with AI. If you don't know how to how to question it, it's not going to give you the results you want. And I mean, at this point, I've been using AI for so long, I could literally charge people to learn how to use it because I get what I want from that thing every time. Never fails. And that's because I really sat there and worked out what the hell I'm doing. Nothing can replace hard work and repetitions. Nothing. And people wish that something could replace that. That's that's what TV and mass media is all about. It's all about providing that illusion that you don't have to work hard for anything in life. But unfortunately, you do. Because if you don't, all those big guys at the top never go anywhere because you're too busy believing their lies. Because who else is selling it to you? It ain't me. I'm not selling you anything. I'm about to be, though. Yeah, so look, check this out. Uh, the whole angle of this channel is going to eventually change at some point, whereby I'm showing people how to use AI for real. Um, because there's just a big misconception of what AI's capabilities are and stuff like that. So, you as an individual with no knowledge can become literally whatever you want. All you got to do is think about what to ask the AI, and it'll help you achieve it if you know how to ask it. And I mean, a lot of people claim to want the keys of the kingdom, but with the advent of AI, I don't think that that's true because people are not really using it. I mean, never mind the commercials where they're showing people using it to fucking find restaurants and dumb shit like that. Like, you don't know how to do that already with the internet? I don't know what to tell you. But okay, whatever works for you. Um, I just don't know sometimes, man. But that's just how they're playing that game. You know what I mean? And you just gotta understand that you gotta find where to fit in. Stocks are at all-time highs, literally. When you put this thing on an 8-day candle, oops, not 8 range, 8 days. Uh, oh, we're going straight to 69.91.25. Hot dog. I already had done this math. I didn't even realize it because I need to start writing shit down. Seriously. So okay, what's happening here? Let me explain this. It's too funny. Okay, so if you don't know how Fibonacci's work, let me explain. So you can literally measure any move, and Fibonacci retracement function is going to provide you with the point on the chart at which that move will definitely stop because the math said so. And you have to start at one point versus another. So a peak versus a trough. You could literally do it for any point. I could have done it for that one. Could have done it for this one. But it would just not worked as well because that also matters. Context is everything. And that's true with how you use tools, right? You don't want to hammer a brick. It's not going to really work out too well. So these are things you got to understand. The market is no different. You got to use the tool the proper way. So my top point was this most recent high point in February, down to the bottom of that low in April. So now, given that we've completed that retracement and we've surpassed that top level, meaning that old high, we're definitely going to run all the way to that level. And who knows, maybe that's when the top comes. But, for now, that's not where the top is. That top is not here yet. And that's where the top is. So that's how you play the market. You got to understand what the bigger picture is saying and then find your way in between. That's on the in between. Unless you're just a long term investor, then it doesn't matter. You just buy and hold. But that's not an optimal strategy either. Because then you're just thinking that people that control that mechanism are just going to leave you alone and never fuck with you. And you'd be wrong to think that. So things to consider. Things to consider, guys. I mean, this is why crypto exists. Because for a small window of time, it was the only way to escape the financial system. And that window is closed. Because people are going to accept this digital shit until they realize they can't get out of it. And then by then, if you don't have crypto, I think you're gonna just be asked out because you're not gonna be you're not gonna be able to use that digital money that they're giving you. Not to do anything that they don't want you to do. Because that's the point of the digital money. It's not for you to benefit from it. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Nothing that happens from that crew is for your benefit. Nothing. And all that shit that's happening in Gaza, it's only a matter of time before it comes here. And by here, I mean the United States. They already exported it to Europe. And them Europeans gonna fucking learn the hard way that they some dumb motherfuckers. That's all. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I remember when I first went to Europe 20 years ago. I thought it was gonna be different than it was. It was still cool, but a lot of foreign motherfuckers there. And it didn't really make sense at the time. But, I didn't know shit then. Makes all the sense now. All the shit that you're seeing in Europe is a function of what's been happening there since the 90s. Ever since the EU came into existence, basically. The EU was created to help Europe fall. That's why it's where it is. It operates how it operates. And every decision that's made for any individual country is to the contrary of its benefit. It's never to help itself. It's always the opposite. You got to realize that. Because that's the answer to every question. Because again, I've said this also a lot before. If you look outside, everybody believes that they have some form of control by voting. It's literally the dumbest shit ever. Because that tells me that everybody's looking outside saying, yeah, I voted for this. Whatever's going on right now, you're gonna sit here and tell me you as an adult participated in creating the world we have now. If you believe in voting. I mean, you gotta be the dumbest motherfucker in existence to think that train of thought. And the thing about it is that people think it, not realizing that that's what they're thinking. And I tell you what, I don't care if you don't realize it. You slow. You slow. You should realize it. Because how is that helping anybody? How have you benefited from anything that's been done in the name of the greater good? Like that's literally the best scam line out there. Because all that means is you won't benefit, and you're gonna be all right, and that's it. Yo, because what greater good? Who is the greater good? Who exactly is that? I remember hearing that shit on TV all the time back in the day too. Greater good, greater good, greater good. Man, they really do a good job on people with the TV, man. They really, really do. Woo! It's wild how they do people, but they do it, man. They do it. Um, yeah. So, I impart information on you guys to help you guys realize what the big picture is saying. Right now it's pretty obvious that all the MAGA people got played. Right, everybody that was MAGA got played. Um, Trump is just another Jew puppet. So you got to be ready for all of that. You got to really be aware of what is actually happening. Don't buy into media narratives ever. That's the worst thing you can do. I don't even understand how the fuck you can be in crypto when you're doing that, but there's a lot of motherfuckers in crypto that do that. Believe it or not. And that's how they fake crypto motherfuckers, man. Like 1+1 is 2. I don't give a fuck what excuse you got. You just that's it. 1+1 is 2. Like, get the fuck out of here. High stupidity. Motherfuckers watching the news knowing that shit a goddamn lie. Every fucking word is a fucking lie. Come on. The fuck out of here. Anyways, so yeah. Market's gonna keep ripping. Bitcoin might keep ripping. Your coin ain't gonna rip though. Let's see. What is Bitcoin doing? It was 115. It's hit 125 almost. Almost. So hadn't even come close to 150 yet. And I tell you what, all them peaks and rebounds, retracements, it might not hit 150 before this thing is over and done with. Oh, all right. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. But it's looking kind of just like this right now. Only worse. Because momentum is way lower. The moving average for the indicator is above it, while the indicator is below it. You typically don't want to see that because you typically get moves like that. Um, and I don't know if you guys know, but there's a whole derivatives market now that Wall Street can exploit. Uh, so be careful what you're buying nowadays because it's not the market you thought it was. It's not the market you came to a few years ago. It's not the market it was even last year because the market's been set up so that you guys make all the wrong decisions at all times. That's why I will never be a six-figure YouTuber because I'm not lying. I don't have an agenda. My objective is not to wreck your pockets. All that shit. I don't tag none of them boxes. All that shit. I don't tag none of them boxes. So I'm never gonna be a six-figure viewer YouTuber with fucking millions of views and subs and shit like that. And when I started this, I knew that was the case. Nobody's running to Harvard to get their math PhD. Nobody's doing that. So I don't expect people to run to my channel. Um, and obviously, Harvard ain't shit. I'm just making a point, just in case anybody's confused about why the hell I would mention an Ivy League school, because they're the problem. So, yeah, man. Um, things look a certain way now. And it's not really to your benefit, unfortunately. You got $4 trillion size crypto market cap. Um, and you just are not going to benefit in any which way from that. Because what this really represents is and I don't think people understand this is what's happening. I'm 100% sure there's not 21 million Bitcoin. Like, I'm 100% sure I can do an audit of all wallets and find more than 21. All you gotta do is add up all existing balances at one point in time. That's it. It's not rocket science, but nobody will do that because then that would show what's true, which is what I said. That there's more than 21 million Bitcoin. So everybody's just, you know, living on that prayer. That's the Bitcoin. That's the Bitcoin way right there. 21 million. So, if you guys know software and how you can build software and all of that, and how you can just have multiple versions running and people not be the wiser, and yeah, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't know, you're not gonna have a clue. You can't even fathom what I'm trying to explain, and that's how they get away with it. You know, they prey on people's ignorance, feign ignorance themselves. They don't know how this happened. Just like I told you guys when all of a sudden Treasury started acting like a dumbass, and maybe it was when she was a Fed governor. I can't even remember, but they put these people in position to allow the plausible deniability. And what I'm trying to say is, if it was a man in Janet Yellen's position that made the errors that she made, that man would have been fired on the spot. Because there's no way a man would be allowed to make them kind of mistakes. But because she's a female, they let her get away with it. So now when Powell makes a mistake, guess what? Precedent's been set. Can't fire him. Even though it's supposed to be set up so that he can't be fired anyway. But they'll say like it is anyway. They gotta make it look good. Gotta make it look good. So yeah, guys, it's a lot of information that might not seem actionable at first. But you guys got to realize that you're living in a time when it's all mind games. It's not real. And that is hard for people to wrap their minds around because they're seeing it on TV. And for all this time, stuff on TV been somewhat real. But they don't understand what's actually going on. They don't understand who the enemy is. They don't understand a lot of things. And at the same time, I don't really think people want to understand. Because damn, it sure is obvious to some of us. And a lot of us don't want to see it. Um, so I don't know where this all ends. Maybe it doesn't. Uh, maybe it all just stays floating in the wind like this, right? Because it doesn't make sense whatsoever that people live the lives that they live, but we continue to do it as if it makes sense and we can't change it. I don't get it, but whatever. Take care of yourself. That's the best thing you can do because everybody else has to make their own decisions. They're not gonna listen to you. Not gonna listen to me. Not gonna listen to anybody. Just a good liar. That's the only people that people listen to in general. And I really don't, I don't really work on that. I'm not really out here trying to lie. So things to think about as time moves on. They supposedly killed this Charlie Kirk guy the other day, and I'll tell you what, I've seen lots of bodies in my life. I've seen a lot of people get shot. I've seen a lot of things, and you guys got to realize that all you're seeing is a movie. That none of that is real. And hey, man, you don't gotta take my word for it. You know, you can believe whatever you want. It's your world. I'm just living in it. But I'm gonna tell you what's true. And what's true is that it's about keeping things emotionally charged. It's about keeping people off their game. It's about keeping people emotionally involved in things that they have no control or stake in. Racism is the best scam ever invented. It's the best scam ever invented. It automatically makes you mad at people for no reason. It automatically causes division just because you're alive. It automatically makes people think one way or you, even though it ain't true. I mean, I get the looks all the time. I'm not white and I work in finance. Shit still is a thing. It's funny. It's funny, but it's true. It's just the way it is. So it's just what you got to understand about life. Some people are just never going to be able to think for themselves. Because that is what racism is the inability to think for yourself. I don't like everybody. I got reasons not to like all kinds of people. Don't matter if they're white, black, like me, Indian, blue, yellow, don't matter. I do not like people in general. That's never going to change. There is nothing that somebody could do to change my mind on that. It's just not anything. So, what are we doing? We all wake up every day, see all this crazy stuff is happening. Only certain people get to talk about it, other people don't. Like, how do we accept this? I don't personally understand at all how or why we accept this. But for whatever reason, people accept that only one group of motherfuckers control everything. I don't know why. I don't give a fuck why. Holocaust be damned. I don't give a fuck. That shit is obviously a lie too. Everything related to those people are a fucking lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's all a lie. And that can be proven over and over and over again. That's the only truth. Literally. But if you're not willing to keep an open mind and think differently about the things you think you know, you're doomed to fail regardless of what money you have. Because somebody's gonna come along and they're gonna scam you for it because you a sucker. Because as long as you believe any narrative given to you by some authority, you're a sucker. Nature of the beast. That's the world we live in. Educate your kids properly because, they're growing up in a world now where they don't even have access to books, man. Like, do people still go to the library? I don't think that people really go to the library like that anymore. So, everything is happening on the internet. Where is the knowledge coming from? Pretty soon, this country is going to be no different than Africa. It's not going to be any different than any other third world country. It's going to be just like Afghanistan, in fact, where motherfuckers is building buildings off level. I mean, this is where we're going, and we're okay with it. Straight up. That's where we're at. because everybody thinks there's some get rich quick scam on the internet for them. Everybody. I mean, there's just not a lot of people putting in any serious work in any field that they like. And then if they are, what's the incentive? Because somebody's just gonna come along and fuck it up for political incentives. So yeah, yeah, I don't even, yeah, I don't even fucking, yeah, I don't, I just don't even talk to people at work, man. Like straight up, nah, I don't. I'm not there to fucking act like we're cool, you know. Like I already know where people are at, so I just don't even do it. Nope, no need to. For what? To hear some motherfucker complain about some dumb shit, like I'm good. I'm good. I do what I want, and that's it. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, don't fucking talk to me. I don't even work with you. So it's real easy for me. But yeah, those are things you gotta think about, guys. The market is not gonna stop doing what it does. You gotta understand it. It's gonna continue to turn. Um, yeah, and you know, the question ultimately becomes, where does it end? Like we're walking towards a path of Handmaid's Tales mixed with the continuum. I'm telling you guys, literally walking straight to that path where we are allowing people with no fucking sense to maintain positions of fucking power. What? And we're respecting that shit somehow? The fuck is going on? I don't get it. I honestly do not get it. But at some point, either we go straight TV because nobody cares to stop anything, or all hell breaks loose a la 1992 in LA, but only everywhere because motherfuckers is fed up with the stupids. Like everywhere you look, they trying to make everywhere the same. In New York now, they got some fake Muslim motherfucking mayor running and shit, or running for mayor, and people just don't know enough. People are gonna think the stuff the TV tells them, and they're just not gonna know that they're just pushing Jew agendas. That's all it ultimately is. A Muslim is no different than a Jew. The religions come from the same. They all the same. They all doing the same shit. They all fucking little boys. They all sucking fucking little dicks and shit. They all doing the same shit. So, god damn it. Hold on, man. Yeah, no, I don't think. I know it was faked. There's no. It supposedly hit him in the neck, yet there's no entry wound anywhere. There's nothing showing any ricocheting anywhere in that picture. All you see is a big gust of wind hitting the shirt, and then all of a sudden a hole in the fucking what looks to be like a fucking mask. That's what it looks like to me. And then when you see the picture of his fucking wife supposedly at the casket, it's clearly a dummy, and it's not even a real hand that she has. Like, come on, man, nah, come on, nah. It's not real, bro. You need to. If y'all ain't never seen people get killed, then stop believing the shit you see on TV. That's really all it boils down to. If you don't know what death looks like in person for real, then shut the fuck up. You just save yourself the embarrassment because people are gonna know, and you're gonna look like what you look like, and nobody's gonna say anything. They're gonna just agree, nod, and you just gonna look stupid for forever because they're not gonna bring it up with you. They're gonna just know you a dumbass, and that's just gonna be that. So these are the kinds of things, man, you guys gotta think about as adults. It's a different world now. people are not gonna just expose themselves like they used to. Even a guy talking to a girl is a problem nowadays. It's not a thing. That's a whole another fucking conversation because they've created this world where being a sensitive bitch is preferable to being a sensible human being. So, how does that translate into anything beneficial for society? It literally does not. So, those are the things you guys got to think about. Kids, I've noticed, are not buying into that shit at all. Like, they're not fucking with that. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. Like, they're regular. That's what I've noticed. But that infrastructure is there to keep the pressure on people to be fucking weirdos. So at the end of the day, it's gonna have to boil down to people stop accepting psychosis. We have to stop accepting psychoticness as if it's normal, and if it's a form of expression. It's not. It's not normal, and it's not a fucking form of expression. Pretty simple. So where does it end? It fucking doesn't if we don't end it. Because the people in power are gonna just do whatever they want. They got no reason to stop. Why are they gonna stop? You tell me. Educate me on that. Because as far as I can tell, everything is happening according to plan. Because I've not been wrong about their plan yet. And everything that can happen for them happens for them. Literally everything. So, yeah. Yep. That's it. That's what it's about. It's about normalizing all the crap that shouldn't be normal, like incompetence. Think about what standards exist nowadays. None. Nowadays, being a dumbass is okay. It's allowed. It's preferable. Whereas before, that shit was not a thing. You could not get away with that. Nah, you could not get away with that. Not at all. So, where uh where does a train go? Where do you go to understand that there is no path forward for people in general, because everything is set up in such a way that you're just stuck. You have no outlet. Look at the economy everywhere. It's literally that. And then on top of that, what happens? Well, they let in 1 billion illegals, people that got no papers of work. So you can't even do the gig job. You can't even do the gig job because they got it all. They got it all on Smash. So you just asked out. Simple as that. That's where we're at. And it doesn't matter where you go. It's the same setup, same story. So how am I wrong? How am I misinformed? Literally not. I'm properly informed. Right? So it's the people that keep the blinders on, keep condoning it, keep acting like it's okay. They're the problem at the end of the day, because it makes no sense. Why are we allowing a certain group of people to destroy other countries just to destroy other countries? Are we not realizing that's what's going on? I would like to think yes. But at this point, I don't know. I don't know. People just too busy with pretending to be busy, because ain't nobody busy doing anything. It don't matter what you're doing. It's not more important than future for your fucking existence. It's not. but people pretend like it is. Hmm. Yep. So I don't know. Uh, I don't know where it ends, but I know where it began, and I know where it's going if people don't stand the fuck up. Like we live in a world where psychotic motherfuckers aren't in charge. I don't. Do people not realize that? I don't know. I don't know. People just don't realize that, but that's what's going on, guys. So you might want to realize that, number one, and put yourself in a position of strength, not a position of weakness. You want to be able to survive what may or may not come. Um, there's always some place being blown up, always some place being destroyed. The ultimate objective is for America to fall politically, not in a violent fashion, because it's really not feasible. Because the guns outnumber the enemy, and they know it. So that's why everything has to happen in this ridiculous fashion. It can't be real. It can only be fake, literally. So that's very important for people to understand, because there's no other way to like make it make sense. That is what it is. That's how it's gonna be. Um, Unfortunately, because what's there to stop evil? Only us. I mean, people are sitting here expecting people to correct themselves. Like if you got kids, a kid is not gonna correct itself. It's just gonna do what they do. So you gotta educate them of what's right and what's wrong and whatever. But in this instance, we're talking about a certain sect of individuals that know they're doing wrong. And they do everything to ensure you allow it to continue by fully lying in every which way possible. Literally. I mean, wow. You know, yeah, wow. Yeah. So I honestly I don't know, guys. I don't know where this is going for you as an individual, but I know where this is going for everybody as a group, because the cycles are in charge, and until people don't start agreeing with people like me, and I mean in general, then there's just no move forward. There's just everybody's gonna be stuck in this shithole of a situation. That's what it is. Because at the end of the day, um, what's the goal? The goal is supposedly to advance, but that's not what happens. We go the opposite way. Now it's so much so that I don't know about where you live, but in New York, cops don't even deal with traffic reports anymore, or traffic accident reports. They don't do that anymore. Unless there's like a death involved or some shit or some injury, you're not going to see 911 respond to your shit at all. That's what's going on in New York City. And I told you guys that shit was coming eventually, where 911 services are going to get scaled back. And here we are. It's already started. And it's starting with handle your own traffic accidents. I mean, yeah, I don't know how right I'm going to be. I hope I'm not. But as of right now, Mad Max would be ideal, but we ain't getting that. Not getting Mad Max. Because then that means you got the freedom to do. The objective is for you to not have any freedom, period. And that shit is here now. Because everybody wants fake money. Everybody wants to be the motherfuckers on TV. Nobody wants to be fucking smart. Everybody just wants the shortcut route to the motherfucking money. So they're going to get that shortcut route. They're going to sell them souls real quick. And they're going to get what they deserve. And then motherfuckers like me ain't gonna have to stream no more. Ain't gonna be no point. What's done is done. You're just fucked now for life. Because it's gonna be a permanent thing. That's the thing people don't understand. This system is digital. So what's gonna be the only thing to shut it off? Power. Why do you think Bitcoin and blockchains is so critical for them all of a sudden? Because that's their ledger that they don't have to look over. Right now, everything is manual. And now this thing has been test driven for 15 years. They know it works. They're good to go. So, yeah. They taking your picture everywhere. They using AI on you everywhere already. You don't even know it. So, yeah. I don't know. What I do know is that you better be using AI to lift yourself out of whatever hole you're in. And if you're not, tough shit. Because that's what it's going to take. It's a race to the top using AI. And if you're not using it, then you're going to stay at the bottom. That's where we're at. I don't even know. Let's see. We can wrap this up with Hex and Pulse Chain and them. I haven't watched. I don't know what's going on. All I know is every time people get excited, that's the top. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. Oh shit, bad boy ripping right now. Guess you better get in where you fit in, homie. Because once that thing goes, it's gone. And I think it's finally hit that point, assuming technical analysis prevails. But I've explained this before that really isn't how crypto works. And what's funny, it's so funny, and you see all these guys trying to do all this quant shit on crypto. Oh, man. Jesus Christ. Too funny. Too funny. Too funny. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. World's changing, guys, and it's changing fast. So you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing for yourself and for your fam, and that you're not using, or let me rephrase, and that you're not educated in the tools that you're using. You need to be educated in the tools that you're using, because if you're not, it will cost you some way, shape, or form. The objective of crypto is to leave the middleman away. Step away from the middleman. Um, there's gonna come a time when things are just gonna change, and I've said this before. If you're not ready by then you're just never gonna be able to get ready, because the ability to get ready will be removed from your capacity. You won't be able to do anything that you want to do, because everything will be dependent on ID, biometric style ID, and you are just gonna have to deal with it. Um, and you're gonna have to figure it out. So, not really sure how that's supposed to work out for people, but what I do know is it's not gonna work out. So, As you guys can see, this market has been basing for a long time. And if it doesn't break 1 cent, then it's never going to see it again. Or 1/10 of a cent. Or 100th of a cent. Yeah, that's what that is. No, that's 1/10 of a cent. Yep. Um, so be mindful of what's going on in the markets. Macro factors have major implications. They're just long term. And the thing about them is that if you're not, like I just told you, prepared for those changes before they happen, like gold. Plenty of people right now buying gold at 3,500 like a moron. Just like people buying Bitcoin at 100,000. Like you just can't help some people. So, all right, guys, it's been real. Um, Understand what is going on, what's real, what's not. Um, yeah, things are changing fast. Be prepared to change with them. I never wanted to learn how to code. I never want to learn a lot of things that I'm just doing, and that's just what it is. Um, you know, you gotta take advantage of being given the opportunity to do things you had no interest in doing, just to see what it's about. You never know. All of a sudden, I've done things that I had no idea I would do. So I'm not special. I'm just some guy, but I want to do shit, so I do shit. That's the only difference between me and most people. Most people just think about doing shit. I do shit. So be a doer, not a thinker, and all will be well. That's really what it boils down to. Um, you know, uh, you don't get a 10,000x by not clicking buy and just watching. You gotta click. It's really that simple. So all that's to say is take action. Don't just let the universe dictate to you what you're gonna get. You have to do yourself the favor and go for what you want, because you just never know what you're gonna get. It might be better than what you were shooting for. It's literally what happened to me. So do yourself the favor. It's just how it goes. But all right, guys, y'all be easy. Stay focused on the lies so you can see the truth. Because the lies are easy to spot. The truth, not so much. Be easy. Peace.